Welcome back, guys, to episode 2 of Photoshop tutorials with BWaggy. And today will be my last basic tutorial with Photoshop. And from here on out, I'm going to show you how to do pictures or different examples of pictures, and teach you about all the options that Photoshop has to offer as I go along. So, for example, what I might do if I'm doing a picture that involves me using this tool, the clone stamp tool, I'll show you how to use the clone stamp tool as I go along. But right now we're going to learn about layers. So right now we have this picture of the face that we're always going to use, and we have it as a background layer, and it's locked, so which means I can't move it. So as you see, that comes up. And the reason why is because it's locked. So if we want to add a new layer, we can go to New and Layer. And you don't have to worry about any of these options. So you're going to click OK. And now we have this new layer 1. And the eye means you can see it. That means you can't. So if you click on that, it means you can't see it. So yeah, and the checkerboard in the video or in the layer thumbnail means that it's a transparent layer. So now if I draw all over this using the pencil tool, or actually the brush tool, and I'll show you about that later. As you can see, I've drawn all over it. And you can see very lightly in the layer thumbnail that you can actually see the drawing that I've just done. So that'll help you differentiate between each layer and what the layer has to offer inside of it, or what you've done inside of that layer. So now if I want to get rid of this, instead of using the eraser tool, an easy trick is to do Control Z, or Edit Undo, as it's also known. But let's say I had a drawing here and a drawing down here, and I wanted to get rid of both of them. If I did Edit Undo, and then did Edit Undo again, it would just make that one come back. And if we use logic here, what we're doing is we're undoing the drawing of that. So we've just done that. Now if we undo again, what we're doing is we're undoing the undoing of that. Or, two negatives equal a positive, we're redoing that, if that makes sense. So a trick to doing this is Control Alt Z, which is the step backward command right there. And I think on a Mac it's Command Z to redo or to undo, and it's Command Alt Z to step backward. So that's a cool trick right there. And now these are all keyboard shortcuts. You could also go up to Edit Step Backward or Edit Undo. But yeah, I think that's easier. But you can do whatever you like. So now that we have this one layer here, let's say we did a drawing on it that we didn't like, and we wanted to get rid of it. What you could do is you could either right click on it and do Delete Layer, or you could highlight it. As you can see, you can highlight each layer, and then you highlight the layer you want to get rid of. You go down to the trash can. You go down to the trash can. You click the trash can, delete the layer 1, and yes, and that gets rid of that layer, as you can see. But let's say we wanted to change change the color of this man's face. But see, we can't do that right now. We can't move it or anything. So let's say we wanted to get rid of this so we can move it around or something. But we wanted to keep the face. The way to do this is you right click on this and duplicate it. So now we have background copy, and you can change this to whatever you want. So we'll call it 1. So now we have this layer called 1, and you can also change the name by double clicking the name. But we're going to keep it 1. Now this, as you can see, is not a locked layer, but this one is. So what you can do, as you can see, they're exactly the same because they're duplicates. You can delete the background layer, delete, yes, and you're left with just this unlocked, editable layer. So now, this is free to move around, but let's say I move it there, and I want to move it back. I simply Control Z, and it's back to its normal state. And then another cool trick before I call it a video is using the Control U command that I taught you in the last video to change the hue and saturation of the man's face. So if I click Colorize, and I can move this meter up and down to get the color I desire, and I can change the saturation and the lightness and the darkness, and there you go, and I have a purple man. So it's as easy as that. And that's a cool trick that can also lead into more advanced designs that I'll show you later. But that'll do it for this video, so thank you guys for